Welcome back to the Weekly Cup. It's Eric Banghart, Manager of Global Sales, coming back at you with another episode of the Cup Series. This week, we take a new look at the numerous ways our customers and partners can expand their business by making wireless a potent element of their strategic portfolio. Our own Dave LaPuma will give you some food for thought if you are truly thinking about the ways our unique wireless offering can help you win or upsell more projects utilizing commercial-grade wireless. Please give a listen and see if Dave can help elevate your wireless business acumen to win more projects. Dave will also review the many ways we can help with a wide variety of resources from Inovonics. As always, please keep those comments and questions coming throughout today's presentation for Q&A at the end. With that, Dave, take it away.
And thank you everyone for joining us this morning at the latest edition of the Weekly Cup. My name again is Dave LaPuma and I'm the Regional Sales Manager for the West. I've been with Inovonics for 14 years and this is kind of the way that I have run my territory for that time. So I think you'll find it really interesting and it's a business approach to what Inovonics does. So let's go ahead and get started. So today it's going to be a little different. A lot of our lunch and learns and Weekly Cup presentations deal with parts and pieces that Inovonics makes and the components and what they do. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about how to take advantage of Inovonics to win more business. This is going to be a kind of a business approach to what Inovonics can do for you. And if you use the tools available to you within Inovonics, you're going to find more success in winning business, winning more bids, being more competitive. So let's continue on with that, and we'll start with a wireless dog, right? All right, so that leads us to a poll question today. I'm going to ask you, how many people here have sold a wireless dog? Well, I think I know the answer to this poll question, so I'm not going to actually ask you specifically, but the answer is none of you have. 100% no and 0% yes. And this is a true application. This is actually a K9 unit, police unit, where the police officer wears one of our pendants on his belt and the receiver is tied to the door controller. And when he hits his button, he needs help and it can open the door or roll down the window and the dog can jump out and help the police officer. So why do I share this with you today? Do I think that you can make a career out of selling K9 units? No, I don't. But what it does show you is that there are things that you can do with Inovonics and Inovonics Wireless that you just cannot do with any other product. And if you can find these applications, if you can find this value add to what you're doing, it's going to help you win business. So we'll talk a little bit about some applications. We'll talk about how that all works. But again, we're going to talk about how can Inovonics help you win more business, win again, and win more. All right, so let's start with, it all starts with Inovonics reputation, right? We've been in business for 34 years, over 34 years, over 17 million devices installed worldwide. We have 75 products available in the EchoStream line. We work with anybody's panel. We are not a panel manufacturer. So we're going to work with anyone's panel. You are not limited to what you can do with Inovonics. We have powerful integration partners, which makes the installation even easier. Companies like Paycom, Honeywell, Bosch, they all have integrations to Inovonics, and it makes it really easy and streamlines that installation even more above just doing it wirelessly. And then we have powered by Inovonics products. These are products, endpoints, components that are offered by third-party partners that greatly expand what's available to you in the Inovonics product line, because they are built with the Inovonics transmitters built inside them. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Optex outdoor perimeter beams. That's a powered by Inovonics partner. So did you know, I have some questions for you. Did you know that Inovonics is a commercial grade wireless built to a life safety standard? It works because it has to. Lives depend on it. We're very, very big in the senior care marketplace. These are where the seniors in their assisted living facility wear a pendant around their neck. And if they need assistance, they hit that button and the staff can come help them. It has to work. People's lives depend on it. And so it doesn't matter if you're buying a pendant for a senior care facility or a motion detector or a door contact, a build trap. It's all built to that same standard. So this is why Inovonics works so much. Plus, we're commercial grade, okay? We're not a residential wireless. I can't tell you, like I said, I've been doing this for 14 years. I've had so many people come up to me at trade shows and stuff and say, oh, you know, I tried to put this wireless in a commercial application and it didn't work. It's like, well, what'd you use? Oh, it was a residential wireless. I'm like, well, that's not the same thing. Of course, it's not going to work. You wouldn't just only use Wi-Fi in your cell phone and then drive around in your car and figure out why you're not getting any signal. It's because you need cellular for that type of application, okay? It's a different wireless. This is commercial grade wireless, and this is built to a life safety standard, okay? Did you know UL rates Inovonics more reliable than wire? That's right. Our signal gets through 99.999, I forget how many 99s to the end time. So our stuff works, and UL knows it works. Anything over a 90-foot wire run, it pays to go wireless. So this was actually told to us from one of our integrators, one of our dealers. Anything over 90, they absolutely lead with Inovonics where they can, because it just makes financial sense to do so. And then, of course, using Inovonics significantly reduces your labor overrun risks, right? How many times have you bid a job, a wired job, and your guys get out there and they start installing, well, you know what, we can't go through those walls that you thought we could go through. Now we gotta, you know, labor's gonna kick up, we gotta go around, we gotta do all this extra stuff. So that risk is so there in a wired application. Inovonics is so easy that it completely significantly reduces that overrun risk. So again, Inovonics advantages. How do you differentiate yourself from your competitors, right? So you want to find ways to add more value to the client through your proposal. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You want to be able to show your security expertise by offering options your competitors didn't think of, right? Maybe that's a wireless dog for a police department, but maybe it's something else, and we'll talk about that. Obviously, in this COVID-19 environment that we're in right now, you want to show your clients respect and spend as little time on site as you can. Protect their employees and really protect your employees, protect your installation team. By bidding wireless, you're going to be on site much less than if you're trying to run wire throughout a facility. All right, and impress your client that you are validated by and have the support of the manufacturer behind you. Okay, so what does that mean? That means we're here to support you, whether it's myself as a regional sales manager, whether it's our technical support team. You have that support, customer service. We want to stress that to you a lot, that we're here to support you, and I'll show you ways that we can do that. And then, of course, you want to save your client money without sacrificing your margins, right? So you want to have a competitive bid that may be lower than your competitor without sacrificing the amount of money that you're making on the project, right? In a percentage wise. Okay, so let's talk about what's your focus and how can you add value, okay? So, you know, there's people security, there's building security, duress, life safety, burg intrusion, access control, video, fire. A lot of you'll say, okay, yeah, I kind of specialize in these. Most of my bids are kind of like these. I kind of know what I'm doing in this area, and that's great. And we're not asking you to change your focus of what you do really well. But what we're going to talk about is how do you add value to that, right? So the first two panels on the left are green because they are really what Inovonics, our sweet spot, right? Duress and life safety, right? A wireless pendant, it's going to be wireless, it's going to be Inovonics, it's commercial grade, it's a life safety standard. Burg intrusion, again, that's something that you'll lead with wireless, you'll lead with Inovonics because it's going to save you money, your bids are going to be more competitive, going to save you time on site. So burg intrusion, you're going to lead with Inovonics. Access control, we don't make an access control system, we don't make a video system, we don't sell cameras, and then there's fire. So these are things that you are not leading with Inovonics, but what we want to do is we want to find the green, right? We want to find the value that Inovonics can bring to those applications and to your bids to make your bids stand out. Okay, so let's talk first Berg intrusion, because that's our sweet spot. This spreadsheet was actually put together by one of our dealers. It's a little dated, maybe. I don't know the numbers are exactly correct as far as pricing and everything, but it really kind of hits home in the point that we're always trying to make wireless versus a wired installation. Now, this is really, the way they've done this is kind of a worst case scenario, because like we make a motion detector, but this has the motion detector, so like a third-party motion detector, and then tied to one of our universal transmitters. You can see that there. So they have overhead door contact, which we don't make, which you would have to connect to one of our universal transmitter, or door contacts, which we do make, but then they again have it tied to just universal transmitter. So maybe the costs are a little more here than could be, but that's okay, because again, we're looking at a worst case scenario. But it all comes down to labor, what's in the yellow. That is where you're going to save a ton of money. So in this particular application, their bid to their client at a 35% gross profit margin was just a little over $10,000. If the same bid being wired is almost $15,000. So obviously that's a huge difference for your client, and this makes you ultra competitive, right? You haven't sacrificed your margin. You're still making a 35% margin. I mean, heck, you could even up that to a 45% margin and be at $11,000, and you make a little more money. So you are still competitive, even getting a higher gross profit margin on this application. So look at that. If it's wireless, if it's duress, if it's Berg intrusion, you're going to lead with Inovonics, and you're going to be more competitive. You're going to make more money. Okay, you can be able to do more jobs. Your labor isn't tied up running wire. They can be doing jobs faster and stuff. So that's a good deal too. So we talked about some of our integration partners, and this again a huge advantage for Inovonics. It doesn't matter if you're a Bosch or a Honeywell dealer. Our stuff, we have direct interfaces with them, which makes it really easy. We got some other ones with Maxis Systems, the video management software. We got some access control technology where we have direct interfaces. So again, because we're what we call panel agnostic, we work with anyone's panel, anyone's application. As long as you got an I/O board, we can run relays to that. But these make it so much easier and really gives you options. If you think, again, this is what I'm stressing, how does Inovonics play into what you're doing to help you be more successful? Okay, so maybe your focus is access control, right? Yeah, okay, you put an access control bid together, you have an access control company that you work with, and you sell their products. That's great. But how do you make your system stand out? I mean, same thing with video, right? If any of you have been to ISC West and you go walk around there, and there's so many booths that have all these video cameras in there. I can't tell the difference between them all, right? So how do you make yourself stand out when you're putting a bid together, right? So let's add value. Where can we find value? Okay, so here's an idea that by adding Inovonics to an access control system, you can monitor uncontrolled doors, okay? So if you add a door contact to your universal transmitter, and then the receiver ties into the access control panel, you're monitoring and you're logging activity at those uncontrolled openings. You have alerts if the door is propped open. So you provide you that complete picture that access control provides to the security director. And really, again, in this COVID environment, people are trying to find ways to limit access into a facility, and they don't want people coming and going through an uncontrolled door. It's dangerous. It's life-threatening at this point. Maybe your access control system to steal a picture from the office. Maybe your receptionist needs to open a door without touching it all the time. So she has a address pendant at her desk, and the receiver's tied to the door controller, and now you've got a door release, and you can let people in when you want to let them in. Maybe you don't want to let them in unless they have a mask on. What are the requirements? But these are value add applications when you're putting your proposal together. I mean, you could even just make them as an option, right? That you're showing your client that you're the security expert. Sir, have you, or madam, whoever you're presenting this proposal to, have you thought about this? These are the options, here's the cost, but these are options you can add on because I'm here to protect you. shows you that you're an expert and you're adding value to your proposal. Okay, so let's look at maybe a little video now, right? So how can Inovonics add value to your video proposal? Okay, well, maybe it's a convenience store, right? And you have a bill trap inside the cash register. If they get robbed, they can pull that last bill out, and that's going to turn the camera into live action. Or maybe there's a duress hold-up button there. Same thing. Even if someone is suspicious, you're not activating an alarm per se, but you can activate the camera into live action mode so you can start recording. So again, it's a video application. We're adding value to what we're doing. Maybe we talked about optics a little bit. They got their outdoor perimeter beams. Well, if you're protecting the perimeter, right, you want notification before someone gets on property. So you get that notification, turns the camera into live action, and then the security team can respond or whatever they need to do. They can watch that video, they can start recording, whatever they need to do. Again, I'm not going over the parts and pieces at this time. I'm happy to do that anytime. Just reach out to me. And at the end here, I'll give you my phone number and email address again. But I can go over those with you anytime if you need to. Okay, let's look at fire. Okay, now this is actually exciting, fairly new, about a year old, our new fire product, right? So this really, any fire bid you're doing, if you've got a PIV valve out in the street, here's your solution so you don't have to trench. All right, you put an EH1115 EOL transmitter on the PIV valve, and the receiver ties into the fire alarm control panel, and you've got a quick and easy solution to monitor those PIV valves. So we add value in that application, right? You put your entire fire system, whatever you sell in a fire system, and this just gets added to it. Again, our relay receivers work with any system. It's UL 864 approved. It's California State Fire Marshal listed. So again, when you put this type of option or add to your proposal, again, it just makes you look like a real champion. You're saving them a ton of money, saving yourself a lot of time and stress. Another application in what we see a lot is remote relay activations. Maybe we see this a lot in banks, right? You know, you have a hold-up button at the teller station, and that button gets triggered, and there's people in the break room, right? So they just want a light to come on in the break room so the employees know not to come out, that the bank is being robbed. So it's same types of things. If you need to go back to a remote guard station, guard location, the management office, maybe it's a school, it goes into the office, you have the teachers have pendants, you could tie, even in a school application, you can tie that to the access control system for lockdowns and things like that. Some more little application ideas: duress alarms in education, which I just talked about, healthcare, financial, environmental endpoints in the IT room. You know, what's the temperature in the IT closet? You don't want the air conditioning to stop working in there, and then you overheat the entire system. Cold storage, pharmaceutical, roof hatches, HVAC systems. You know, there's so much you can do with Inovonics, and this is just a handful of them. I mean, this is where, again, where you reach out to myself, or if you're in a different territory, your regional sales manager, and say, here's what I'm trying to do, what can we do, what are our options? And we can find those for you. And then eventually you become so proficient at it that you start adding these on your own. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for 14 years, and I have so many great clients out there, and so many of them have gotten so good at this that they never even need to call me anymore, right? They just add this stuff to the things. And those are the guys that are most successful. They do an amazing job. So this is what I want you to be equally as successful, by finding applications that work with the type of proposals that you put together, and to help you win more business. One more application I want to show you that is really critical right now. We got a lot of hospitals that are trying to find ways to add beds quickly. They're putting up temporary hospitals, temporary buildings, facilities, and they need to add security systems. So in this case, when you're adding beds or your temporary facility, here's a real quick and easy installation. So in this case, you have an emergency pull cord, and these are made. This is a powered by Inovonics products made by Flare Electronics. But here's an emergency pull cord that can go next to the bed or in the bathroom in the hospital room. You have a ventilator monitor that hooks up to the ventilator. So if they go into respiratory arrest, you'll get that alarm, and all the alarms go back to this Flare annunciator panel, which is set up at the nurse's station. So again, it's all wireless, right? Great for temporary situations and quick and easy to get installed. There's no time to waste right now. I mean, unfortunately, this virus is still out of control, and we need these applications up quickly and fast, and this is the easiest way to do it. So if you have this type of opportunity and you have any questions, you can reach out with me. I can hook you up with the people at Flare Electronics or contact them direct, whatever works best for you, and we can help you put these things together. So those are ideas to add value to your proposals. Find those applications, figure out how to create value in the bids that you're putting out there, and Inovonics can help you do that. And beyond what we do from a product standpoint, we have an amazing team for Inovonics support. Whether it's myself, the rest of the regional sales team, we have technical support, the best in the business. We have customer service, the best in the business. So a little bit about some of our support things. So I mentioned I'm in the West, right? California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii. If you're listening or watching this presentation and you're in one of those other states, you can find this on our website, but this is a territory map, and it shows you the different regional sales managers in the territories they cover. So if you need to reach out to them, for example, Rita is in the Southeast. Chris, she lives in South Carolina. We have Chris Allen, who lives in Maryland. He's in the Northeast. We have Bill Walker, who lives in Chicago. He's up in the Great Lakes region. We have Bob Mendenhall, lives in Texas, and he covers the South Central region. And then Sandy Fisher, who's been with Inovonics for, I think, over 26 years. Amazing talent, what he knows in this industry, and he is out of the Rocky Mountain Canadian regions. He lives in Colorado. So we got a great regional sales teams, and we're all in our territories, and we're here to support you any way we can. And one of the things that I like to do is assist with site surveys. Now, unfortunately, right now I'm on travel restrictions, and our survey kit is an amazing tool. I call it really a salesman in a box, because when you use our survey kit in front of your client, you show them that what you're proposing is going to work, that you can easily determine where you might need to put repeaters, if you need repeaters at all, and that's going to give you an accurate bid. You show your client it works, they see that it works, and it just makes them feel really good about what you're proposing. So I often do this. A lot of my clients this is where they take advantage of me, and they request my assistance in doing that. And that is where, again, we show support, like you have the support of the manufacturer behind you. So when I'm out there doing a survey with you and your client sees that, it's like, wow, you got the manufacturers behind you, showing you it works. Then when they get the proposal, they feel extremely comfortable about what's going on, what you proposed, and they're ready to rock and roll. I've had clients, after doing surveys, that the end user is just like, okay, where do I sign? Because they're so pleased with how everything went. So if you haven't done a survey, what way it works is basically you hang a transmitter, and you're figuring out the range within that particular environment of that building or campus or whatever you're in. We hang that transmitter, we walk around with our receiver. It shows, right now it shows in the green, and then we walk around until it shows in the red. And that means, oh, okay, well, there we need to add a repeater. So we would walk back in to where it's green, and that's where we would add a repeater. So now we've extended our range, right? But we still don't have full coverage, so we'll keep walking, and we will walk until we get out of range again. And then we will go back into range and we'll add another repeater. Now we have complete coverage of the entire campus or facility or whatever we're doing. So really simple, really easy, and it makes the bidding process go really smooth. So you have complete confidence in the number of repeaters that you're going to need to cover a site, and your bid's going to be very accurate. I mentioned our technical support team. These guys are amazing. Guys and gals are amazing. Bill Patrick, the team manager, Andrew Peterson. I put their names on here because they are special people. John Tanton, Krista McCullough, Sean Tacker, Tom Richards. These guys are unbelievably intelligent, smart, and I use them all the time because they're a heck of a lot smarter than I am. And they're there for you for installation support. I've had situations where a tech is on site. Maybe he hasn't used this before and he's not sure exactly how to install a transmitter, to register a transmitter into the system, and they just call up our tech support and they walk them right through it. You have technical questions. They work with some of our integration partners to help them make sure that their development goes well, that their setup goes well. But they're available to you. They're all based out of Colorado, our corporate office in Colorado. You can call the 800 number, option 2, and they work 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can email them at support@inovonics.com, or even if you go on our website, you can actually chat with them via the website. So again, this is another layer of support for you in helping you win business, maintain business, and making sure everything goes smoothly for you. A little bit about our website, because this is another amazing tool. Nikki, our marketing manager, manages this, and she's just done an amazing job. This website is full of information. If you need product data sheets, if you need to see products, parts and pieces, marketing documents. The product data sheet's great because it's a little cheat sheet. I just have my clients, I give them out all the time, so my clients kind of have that, and it just shows the different products, and they can make sure they have the right part numbers and stuff. But there's marketing documents, online training videos like this one, installation documents, step-by-step instructions with diagrams. You can get information. You can get on our email list if you want product announcements being sent to you, any product information. That's always good to know what's new and what's coming out. Partners page and how to buy. We talked about our Powered by Inovonics partners, our integration partners. There's so many people that build businesses around the Inovonics product that if you're aware of them, if you familiarize yourself with them, then again, you're going to familiarize yourself with a lot more applications and a lot more opportunities to add to your proposals. If you need tech notes, helpful guides for newer and older product, there's a frequently asked questions. I mentioned the chat. You can chat with tech support. If you need to know if a product is UL listed or what the compliance information is, you can search that on our website, and really so much more. It's a great tool, and again, part of what we're trying to do to support you. So to summarize this, how do you win business? Well, honestly, it starts with Inovonics, the most trusted name in wireless. You have ultra competitive bids without sacrificing margins, labor savings, time and costs. You can integrate with any security system. You can show off your security expertise and add value to any bid with additional Inovonics options. We have the flexibility to meet your goals of the physical security plan, and easy to add to any security system. I mentioned duress, panic alarms. Really, they round out every design. I mean, every HR director should have a duress pendant. Executives within the facility. There's just too much crazy things that happen that you don't have that extra layer of security for those vital areas that are more than just an access controller or video plan. But you want to protect the people inside the facility as well. And then of course, take advantage of Inovonics support, show your client that you have support of Inovonics behind you,